Welcome to the Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm your host, Meredith.
And I'm your host, Cass.
Let's have some fun.
I've been working all day.
I'm so tired today.
I know.
It's terrible.
Sometimes I see you walking up the sidewalk. I'm just like, oh no, she's exhausted. And you know how else I know that you're going to be exhausted when you get here is because you don't respond to anything. I know you have so much to do.
Yeah.
Was it like end of the month or first of the month? Like how is that?
Of course, we have a 911. Hurry up and get this done.
Oh,
Gosh. So yeah, there's a walk tomorrow. So I had to go to a couple stores and just make sure shit was all ready,
Yeah, I have a question. Were there other people visiting the stores or was it just you visiting? Does it just so happen that when they have a 911, it's usually the stores that you visit, I guess is the question?
Yes, because all my stores are right by the airport.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
So, yeah, it's like I always get visited. So, I got to keep on my shit over there, which is good.
Yeah.
It keeps me on my toes over there, but yeah. But I was laughing. Okay, so it's like, this brand of cake that we rep, right? And it's like, I don't even know who the people are. I don't know. My boss just says, hey, the people that own the cake are coming, All right, I'll make sure the cake is there. It's out. It's ready, So a coworker had asked me last week, they said, hey, I got some extra time. I got all my stuff done, like you seem like you've been a little overwhelmed. Can I help you out? And I was like, sure,
So kind of you.
Go to the cake stores, So I walk into the one cake store today. Perfect.
Ooh,
everything is out.
What a great start.
They were missing one cake, but I'm like, that's fine. Like there's 4 varieties. They got 3 of the 4. Perfect, So I did a bunch of other crap, and then I go to the other cake store because I'm like, my coworker was just there, and he said, I talked to the manager, like everything's cool, blah, blah, blah. I get there, there's one cake.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, okay, this is not enough time to get like a delivery of cakes if we don't have cakes. So I don't see the manager. I'm talking to the cake decorator, and I'm like, hey, you guys got any more of these cakes in the freezer? She's like, oh, no, we haven't gotten those in a long time. And I'm like, fuck. And this is
panic.
This is like the closest store that you can get to the airport. So I'm like, they're definitely coming here. She's like, the manager's on lunch, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, I'll come back. So I'm like, hey, come back. I'm like, what's up? How's it going? How are you? I'm like, where's the damn cake? She was like, how many do I have to put out? And I was like, oh, just put one of each out. I don't care, I'm like, you have cake? And she's like, yeah, I got cake. And I was like, oh, thank God. I thought I was going to have to go to like another store and pick up cake and bring it over here and do a transfer and blah, blah, blah. And what a mess. But on another note, I am talking to this other manager. He's kind of a floating manager right now.
Okay.
He used to be a produce manager at one of my other stores, and now he's kind of like learning the ropes. Like where we worked, we had like the specific department manager, and then we had what we called like a lines leader above it, right? That would run, the fresh side or the GM side or the grocery side, right? So now he's learning to become one of those. So I'm talking to him, whatever, I'm venting to him, like this damn cake, whatever, and he's like, well, we can go to another store and get the cakes and bring them. And I was just like, thanks for letting me vent,
Mm-hmm.
So then he left, and I was so mad because I went and talked to this other girl, and she was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on here. And I was like, why? What's going on here? And she's like, well, I don't know. Our store director left last Tuesday, and they haven't been back. And like all of upper management, I don't know if they like got suspended or fired and I'm like, what's going on? And I love that store director. She's like super like cool and chill and just like, yeah, do this. And if you got time, do that too. And I'm like, cool, whatever. And so I went to go look for that other guy that's like the floating guy to see if I could get any tea, and he was gone. I was like, damn it. So I'm like, I might have to stop in there tomorrow before the visit just to check on the cakes. I'm doing air quotes. I'll go check on the cakes just to see if I can find somebody to give me some tea on what's going on with all the upper management at that store.
So
where did they go?
We're all going to need you to come back next week and tell us what the tea is.
I know.
All right, we're holding you to it.
I'm so excited to find out.
What a great start to this episode.
I know. Yeah.
But now I'm going to completely do a 180 here.
All right. On to other things.
So we asked everyone online because I found an article that I shared with you that's popular jobs in the 1950s that are almost gone today.
I said housewife right away.
Yes, you did.
That job is gone.
And
I
so we
mean,
asked our listeners.
It's just the housewife also has to work 40 to 60 hours a week.
Right, of
Yeah.
course, of course. So we asked our listeners, and we got a lot of responses. We said, which jobs do you think are on this list? Like, what don't we see anymore, right? So I'm going to open this right up. So Sarah, Two Chicks Talking Flicks, says a milkman.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, perfect.
We do still have Oberweis in the area that goes around and delivers. And what's the other one that has the ice cream, too?
Oh, the
Schwans.
Schwans. Yes.
The Schwans,
I still see their truck.
Yes.
I hope
So-
that never goes away.
Yeah, technically we do still have a milkman, but it's definitely not stopping at every house.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw that. It was at my aunt's house up in Antioch.
Oh,
Wow,
that
what
was
was
a
that?
loud
That was
ding.
weird, wasn't
was
it? I don't know if
that?
anyone else heard that, but
Ding, you've arrived at your floor.
that's kind of cool. It was
You
a
hit rock
notification
bottom
of some
over
sort.
here.
At my aunt's house in Antioch, I remember when the Schwann's driver would come up, and I'd be like, "What in the world is this?"
Yeah.
And they would get like steaks, and
Yeah,
they would
all
just come
sorts
out
of
and
stuff.
have a little board, and they, yep, that sounds great. Thanks
Yeah.
so much. Every
You
week
have
they
all
would come
your
around.
grocery shopping on there. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And I still see them.
That was grocery delivery before grocery delivery, you know?
Yes, and
Yeah.
if you're not familiar, they're refrigerated trucks. They're yellow, and they have is it a swan?
Yeah,
on
it's
it?
a Schwan. What are you looking at?
It's a
Schwan?
Schwan.
If you get that movie referral, I like you.
Shoot, you don't like me. I don't get it.
Oh, me and you just have different tastes in movies. That's all right. I still like you.
The next one is from Melissa S. So she is amazing. She's retired retail, so she gets a lot of the stuff that
Yeah.
we post. She said TV repairman.
Oh, yeah. No, we just toss those bad boys out now.
We just gone.
My grandma texted me. She goes, "Can Johnny get rid of some TVs? I got 3 I got to get rid of." I go, "What are you doing
Are they
to
the
your
big
TVs?"
tubes?
No,
They're flat?
screens.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I told you guys about, she had Karen moment at Best Buy because she had bought, was it a laptop or it was a TV? I think it was a TV. And she went in there because it just quit working and it was still under warranty. And they have that stupid thing now where you walk in and you got to make an appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And generally you'll get an appointment right then. But she's she threw that TV at that guy and said, "F off, here's your TV back," and left.
Wow. I feel like my mom
There
and
you
dad
go.
may have just done that about his laptop. They
Yeah.
could not get it to work. I think he ended up getting another
Yeah.
one for the same reason. It
It's
just
there you go, Graham. That's how you get rid of them. You just throw them at the
at the
people,
people
at,
at
Best
the
Buy.
store. No, please don't do that. Only grandma can do that. No one else.
She's pissed.
Melissa also said shoemaker.
A cobbler?
Yeah. Which is kind of cool because my TikTok shows, or I should say our TikTok, I have the second account, shows those replacing the bottoms, the
Yes,
soles of
the
boots and stuff.
resoling,
I
yes.
freaking love those videos. Keep posting those, please.
I do know a person whose father owns a store. I believe he redoes Birkenstocks. So they're out there if you can find them, because honestly, I pay 30, maybe $40 for a pair of shoes. I'm not going to try to fix those. They weren't even that comfortable. I just wear the shit out of them. But if you're paying $4, $5, $6 thousands of dollars for your shoes, you're going to keep them for a while and have them redone.
I see a lot of business shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know that
Yeah.
they're expensive, and they get the bottoms are all gone
Yeah.
and holy, and so it's really neat the way
And
they
holy,
do it.
they don't go see the cobbler.
Yeah.
They just keep shining the top. Hopefully no one will notice the bottom.
Until you can start pulling your sock out from the bottom, then you got to go see a cobbler.
Why is my foot all wet?
Nikki, she was on the show.
Yeah.
She says diaper service.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yes,
But yeah, I guess
I looked
so.
that up. That's because we used to have cloth diapers as
Yeah.
babies. Well, even before my time.
Yeah.
But they would come and pick it up, clean, and drop it off. So I feel like that's kind of like the shirt service
Yeah.
that you have at stores,
The dry
or the
cleaning.
dry cleaning
Yeah.
service that you have at stores, where you have the especially in the meat department, they have the white coats.
Yes.
And a company comes and grabs them and
Yes.
dry cleans them and brings them back. Can you
Yeah.
imagine all the
Ew.
the blood?
I'm just
and
thinking about
juice
picking up
from the meat.
bags of shitty diapers.
That too. I
Yeah.
mean, you would hope that some of it would go into the
Plop it
toilet.
out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know though. Who knows? I'm sure that.
Because a lot of people couldn't afford that service. So guess what? They cleaned them themselves.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
My brother, youngest brother, sewed diapers for their baby and cleaned
Really?
them. Yes.
Get out.
Very cool.
That's crazy.
Very cool. Dalton says cashier.
This is becoming true.
It
Absolutely.
is, and that's exactly what we wrote. So true.
And even if you think bank teller, because You can do anything from your phone in an ATM now.
Yes.
You can deposit a check on your phone, take a picture of the front and back, and they just deposit it. You write void on it, rip it up, throw it away.
Yep.
You know, you can put money in the ATM. You can take money out of the ATM. What do you need a bank teller for anymore?
I remember going to oh my God, I can't even talk today. It's no longer the building by us. And I remember walking in and he said, "Hi, welcome. Come on over here to one of these machines," and showed me how to use it.
Oh my gosh. How
I was
to
like,
use the
what?
ATM. How to use the automated money.
Yeah, it was just
What
like,
is
it was, I just put like the, which I don't do anymore. This was like right before everything went online. But I think it was like a deposit slip, my check, some cash. And all you did was feed it into the machine and it would spit out a receipt.
It's literally automated teller machine.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And you had to make sure you had your slip with the information and put it in like a,
Because it probably took a photocopy of it.
Wild. And then right after that, everything went online.
Yeah.
And the building's closed. There's nothing there
so
anymore. It just
crazy.
sits there.
Crazy.
Doug, our friend Doug that we used to work with, he says the paper boys that used to ride their bikes to deliver the paper. Again, Melissa says milkman.
Yeah.
And then we said, now we only see UPS, USPS, and Amazon. And she said, USA has a whole new meaning, United States of Amazon.
That is so true.
So clever.
That is so true.
Truly Italy Katie, who was just on, says elevator operator.
Oh, yeah.
I have a story for that. As soon as she typed that, I was like, what? So the president visited our building a few weeks ago.
The president. Of the United States.
Yes, the president.
Not the president of her company, not the president of the cakes. It was the United States
The whole
president.
city was on lockdown except for our building.
Joe Biden came to her building.
Yes. I felt
Did he trip on the stairs?
Safe and unsafe at the same time. It was wild. Like you had all these people around, but I felt safe and unsafe at the same time. It was very strange, but I still went in. We had elevator operators during that time, and you could tell no one knew what to do because they wanted to make sure wherever they were taking you was the proper, wherever you were going.
You're not going to end up somewhere you're not
So
supposed
Secret
to
Service
be.
is on an elevator, and I walked in, and he said, what floor? And of course I was like, I'm not really sure.
You're like I just hit the button. I don't remember what floor it is. I just know what button it is.
I'm like 7. But so my building, I think I've mentioned this before, it's on a slant.
Yeah.
So one half of the building, I take the 6th elevator up, and the other half, I take the 7th.
Yeah.
So they had us go through a different entryway. So I was like, I think it's 7. And then I told him who I worked for, and he was like, oh, yeah, you're 7.
Oh, good.
But you could tell that a couple other people got on the elevator. We didn't know what to do. Like, oh my gosh, someone's operating the elevator for us?
And because you said you had to go into a different entrance.
Yes.
And that messes you up.
Yeah.
And that's not my
What
normal
side of the building
elevator.
am I on? Yeah, it was crazy. She also said typist. So typewriters are obsolete, really.
Well, okay, can we talk about something that is still around? Is the person that types in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Stenographer?
And they do all shorthand.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's really weird. So I had to do jury duty. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
And so we got to ask questions. Like the lawyers or whatever, the DA, whoever they are, they would be like, do you guys have any questions? And we'd be like, can we check out her keyboard?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, come over, check it out, And it was funny because there's certain things that you have to say and you got to say them like this and you got to do this and you got to do that. And she would be like, you didn't say the thing,
That's awesome.
She's like, she already had it typed out,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I was watching some show and, it was a live show or whatever. And they were saying something and the judge looked over. Can you repeat that line? And she said it verbatim.
Yes.
And it was literally like a second later.
They literally,
I'm not a fast typer, so that impresses me.
They do like 6 buttons at once, then 2 buttons, and then 8 buttons, and then 4 buttons, and then 2 buttons. It is. It's crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah. I don't know how, because everyone's like, how are you so good at that? And she's like, she was an older woman, and she's like, I've literally been doing it for 35 years.
She could do it with her eyes closed, not even worry about it. She knows what they're going to say.
But I know somebody had asked once, because I've seen a couple TikToks of them doing that. And so people had a million questions and they're like, wouldn't it be easier to just record it? But there is something in like our Constitution in court. It has to be a typed out conversation. It cannot be recorded any other way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So Truly Italy Katie and Kristen Lane both said full service gas station attendants.
Okay, what state was it? Not that long ago, it was Oregon.
Yep, that's what she says. Mm-hmm.
They couldn't pump their own gas, and they were like terrified to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And here, I was pumping gas since I was like 7, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kristen says they still have them in New Jersey and Oregon. In New Jersey, you can't pump your own gas. In Oregon, I can't remember if you have the choice or not, which you just answered that.
Yeah.
I said, wow, I remember when we had that here.
My great grandma did not know how to pump gas.
Because they always had someone.
They always did it for her, or she was with my great grandpa and he did it, So yeah, she did not know how to pump gas.
Katie says that they still all have these jobs in Italy. They pump your gas. There's a typist. There's elevator operators.
Amazing.
I know. Everyone go on her website and go get your tickets to
go to Italy,
to Florence.
I want to go so bad.
Melissa again says telephone operator. She said, my grandma was one. I used to love watching her work the board.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Johnny's mom did that too for a
so
long
cool.
time.
I just remember watching, again, another show, and the board was so big. It's like, how do you even, she was probably working a big high rise.
Yeah.
And it was like, hello, okay, this person, okay, this person. That is just the cool.
That's
Look
so
that up
crazy.
if you have no idea what we're talking about. It is so cool.
Because we're old.
Not that, just because it's been a while. That's all. Our age never changes. Just times change.
That's right. Because I'm 39 and you're 40.
Our friend Kelly says vacuum salesperson. And I remember Kirby's.
Yeah. The Kirby's and the Rainbow.
They would come and visit your house.
Yeah.
They would have you vacuum with your vacuum, and then they would go over the same exact spot with their Kirby or their Rainbow.
Yeah.
And you would
show
see
you the dirt that
how
was still
much.
there.
Yeah.
I remember everybody complained because they would be like, oh, yeah, okay, well, if you can get this stain out of the carpet, then I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And then they would, but it would come back after they purchased the vacuum. So they knew a way to get rid of it just temporarily.
Just enough to get the sales.
Just to get the sale.
Grandma said car hop.
Oh, yeah.
I had to look that one up. I wasn't sure what that was. No, I had to look that one up.
That's like Sonic. That's like Sonic. When you go to Sonic and they feed you out of your car,
Yes.
They put the tray on your window.
Is that like what's the other one that's around here? Dog and Suds?
Dog and Suds, yeah.
I had to look it up. I didn't know that's what they were called.
Yeah. I use Sonic because if you're not from the Midwest, you probably have no clue what Dog and Suds is. But if you ever watched what's this movie? What is this movie that I have the shirt on right now?
Oh, it says Livin'.
No, but what is that movie? I can't remember.
Oh, I have no idea.
What is that movie? It's
way
about the
wrong
70s.
person.
Anyways, they go to the car hop all the time in that movie.
So those that don't know, it's a waiter or waitress who brings you fast food to your car.
Sometimes on roller skates.
And you have to be careful because one time I was at the Dog and Suds and I accidentally put my window all the way down and I lost all my food.
No, you can't do that. Your window literally holds the tray up.
It literally holds the tray up. So thanks everyone for responding. I'm sure we'll get some more, but that was super cool too.
Can I talk about how cute our new pictures are too?
Oh my gosh!
Because I'm not on social media, so I don't see them unless you pull up a Facebook.
I know, and I always show you. I try to we're always so tired during the week. I'm like, look at which one went viral, especially on the AMP podcast, right? Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna take a look at BusinessInsider.com because they also shared 20 jobs popular in the 50s that are almost gone today. Let's see if there's anything different. I think our followers covered it all.
Farmers.
Yeah, farmers.
Farmers are quickly
I come from a family of farmers, and they're all still working, so that, I don't know.
It's scary.
Rubber product manufacturing. So it says that there were 243,000 people that were employed in 1950, and the picture is of a gentleman holding tires. And that's falling to 147,000 in 2007.
I wonder,
so it's like a 39%
it's just
drop.
Machinery is taking it over.
Probably.
Manufacturing tires and stuff.
I mean, besides like the big truck drivers, the 16-wheelers, who really goes and gets new tires unless you pop one on a pothole? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Or it's just like any other job, less people, but more work.
Yeah.
Could be that too, right? I feel like that could be almost all of this. Let's see what else there is. Farms, again, they're mentioning. Petroleum plants they were talking about as well. Metal plants.
Wait, but petroleum plants? I feel like everything is made from petroleum.
This one says petroleum products wholesale trade. So it's falling 43% drop. It just looks like oil workers that are welding new pipes and stuff like that in the picture.
It's because nobody's lit.
Again, probably less people, more work.
Blowing up the oil lines instead of building new ones. Just get a little political for you all.
Fuel and ice retailing.
fuel and ice retailing, but that's showing gas going to
It says a tanker
gas
truck
station.
fills up with petroleum gasoline to transport. So in the 50s, there was 172 people that were employed doing this, and it's falling to about 85,000. In 2017, this is an older article, it's like a 50% drop.
Yeah.
I almost feel like maybe if we looked again, it probably didn't drop as much with all the gas that we need now.
And this is from
Petroleum.
2017. I'm trying to think like
That's what it's saying.
what happened in 2017.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, California wants to go all electric vehicles by like 2035 or something. I find that very hard to believe.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. So this one has a ginormous mansion behind it with some private household service.
Yeah.
Right. So 1.7 million people were employed in 1950 as a household service, what is that, maid or whatever. And then Butler, yep, falling to 847,000, which is like a 51% drop.
We ain't that rich.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I just saying it yesterday. We were driving past some pretty nice houses yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, could you imagine cleaning those windows? But I was like, if you lived in that house, you would have somebody clean the windows, But then how do I feel about somebody cleaning my toilet?
I'd be all right with that after this weekend.
Really?
Go listen to our other podcast.
That's going to be on the other podcast. We're going to talk about that.
How about agriculture?
I would have to clean my toilet before they came and cleaned my toilet.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about agriculture? 7 million people were employed in 1950. It's falling to 3.5 million. It's
okay,
a 52%
but this
drop.
is what I don't understand, because are they replacing people picking the vegetables with machinery? Is that
I'm thinking that's probably what it is.
I feel like there's so many fruits and vegetables that are still very hands-on.
Yes.
And then you think about a lot of our produce in general comes from other countries where they don't have the machinery available that we do. You know?
I don't know if I mentioned this, but have you ever seen a cherry picker?
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Is it shake it, right?
Yeah, they shake
Yeah.
it. If you have not seen that, and I think we might have mentioned this many, many episodes ago, but it's like a big funnel. It goes around the tree, and it shakes the tree, and all the cherries fall into the funnel.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. But again, it's a machine, so I don't know if people use to pick them.
40 people's jobs.
Yeah. But still cool, and I watched the video. So logging, 187,000 people were employed in the 50s. It's falling to 80,000. Is that because there's just no more trees?
No. Well, because if you think about it, paper is very renewable, right?
Yes.
They plant the trees, they slaughter the trees.
Slaughter.
I didn't know any other way to. I guess I could have said logged.
If trees could, would they scream?
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, it probably hurts. But those trees grow so fast. It's actually very sustainable. But how much do you print?
Not much anymore.
No.
Very good point.
And we were just talking about, you see a lot of people reading newspapers on the train, but
nowhere else.
I don't think I know one person that gets a newspaper subscription. We all read it on our phone.
Yep.
Yep. So a lot of things don't even need paper anymore that we used to. Pretty soon we won't even have paper money. It'll all be digital.
And we're all getting bidets, so we don't even need toilet paper.
Just a little towel to dry up a little bit. The poo towel. It's the butt towel. Don't put anybody's face on this. You'll have a special hanger for your butt towel.
So the next one's laundering, cleaning, and dyeing.
Wait, dye? Oh.
Yeah.
Like as in
D-Y-E.
clothes dyeing.
Yep, like rid dye. Mm-hmm. It says close to 700,000 people were employed in the 50s, and now we're at about 300,000.
Yeah.
It's a 58% drop. Here's another thing. We're a little more relaxed with what we wear.
Yeah.
I don't think everything needs to go get laundered, dry cleaned, anything
men aren't
like
wearing
that.
super starched shirts. Maybe not as many men.
Not as many, right?
Yeah,
I still see them, again, on the train.
It's all the old men in Congress.
Yeah, or
They're all getting their shirts starched.
And everyone I think maybe rotates suits now.
Yeah.
Maybe you can if you're still wearing suits and like starched shirts, you probably can afford like 7 suits. So you
One
maybe
for
are
every
only
day.
going once a week instead of every day.
Yeah.
And then for dyeing, rid dye, you can just do it yourself. I dye
Yeah.
my black pants and, in a
Right.
5-gallon bucket with hot water and then wash it. So really don't need anyone to do that for me. Unless, of course, it was, oh my gosh, do you remember when Payless used to dye shoes to match your dress?
Yes. Wait, I do remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
I was in a quinceañera when we were in high school, and we had these really cool green iridescent dresses, and she wanted part of the iridescent was like it went from pink to green, like that. And she wanted the shoes to match. So we all had to go to Payless, pick out the style. She was okay with whatever style we wanted, but they had to dye it the color she chose.
Yeah.
So
because
cool.
they had those like satin shoes, right?
Yeah.
Like the little kitty heel satin shoes.
Yep.
That is so crazy.
I actually just saw that.
I was like, no. And then I'm like, wait, yes, I do.
I actually just saw that person, the friend that I was stood up in Quinceañera. And
That's
I just saw her like
awesome.
a few weeks ago. We were out at a bar. So blast furnaces, steel work, rolling mills.
Steel work.
61% drop from close to
I
700,000 to 270,000.
How? When all of our bridges are constantly falling apart, how is steel work like not in its prime
I mean,
right
I'm
now?
just wondering if a lot of people are retired and not a lot of people are going into the trades.
That could be.
It's all about going
have
to college
yes.
and working by a computer. We need more people in the trades, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a huge steel mill right here by us, and that's a good job. It's a terrible job, but like they pay you a lot. You have a good retirement from there. It is definitely a trade that if you don't think you have any skills to go anywhere else, go get into a trade.
Yep.
I was just talking to my nephews about that.
You did. You were. That's
my
right.
one nephew hates school. I'm like, dude, just get through school and then go get into a trade like your Uncle Johnny did, you know?
Yep. We actually just drove past that steel.
Yeah.
And the dumpster was on fire.
Oh, no.
So we tried calling them. And another truck was pulling in slowly. So I was like, okay, they have a handle. But we kept trying to call them over and over again. Like, hey, your dumpster's on fire.
Hey, your dumpster.
Yeah.
Hey, dumpster fire.
Yeah, dumpster fire.
Hey, dumpster fire. There's a fire in your dumpster.
So this one says water transportation. I had no idea that was a thing. But it's dropped 65%. There's only about 74,000 people now that are employed for that.
But what is water transportation?
Freighters and cargo containers sit
That
idle at the
cannot be
port of Los
true.
Angeles as a backlog of over 30 container ships sit anchored outside of a port in Los Angeles.
So during COVID, we went through this a lot where stuff was just sitting, not being able to come in.
Mm-hmm.
But especially with Amazon, you cannot tell me that number is still down.
The industry moves goods and people over bodies of water in ships.
Yeah, no, that industry totally came back.
Yeah.
All we do is order shit offline that comes from everywhere besides the United States.
Yeah. How about apparel and accessory manufacturing? I feel like Grandma would know about this because she was in jewelry and clothes, right?
Well, that was great-grandma.
Great-grandma, yes.
Yeah. Great-grandma lived during the Depression, and if she didn't, she probably would have been Coco Chanel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she and Grandma Dar talks about how much she loved her clothes growing up because great-grandma made them all.
Oh, amazing.
You know? And
Very
Grandma Dar,
talented.
Grandma Dar sews a lot too. And I remember her making me and my sister matching outfits and stuff, but yeah, nobody makes their clothes at home. And I mean, I shouldn't say nobody because I actually follow a lot of TikTokers that do. And I'm surprised to see how many men I've seen get into sewing. And there's this one guy, he will go to Goodwill and buy old quilts, and then he'll make jackets and like pant sets out of them.
Wow.
And they're awesome.
Have you seen the young kid that sews?
Yes, the little boy.
What is his handle? Do you know
I
on
don't
TikTok?
know.
Shoot. I need to do more research, but I just thought of it now.
I know. He's like 8 or 10 maybe.
So talented.
And he like made his grandma a dress. Like,
and
it
I
was
thought
so
someone
good.
famous had reached out.
Probably, yes.
And he sent her a dress.
I think it was, I think one of the winners of, what's that show? Project Runway.
Oh.
I think one of the winners of Project Runway sent him some fabric to make something with.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So how about tobacco product manufacturing? It's an 81% drop.
I believe that one.
In the 50s, everyone
Well,
smoked.
you know what? But there's still, because that's tobacco product, but what about nicotine products, right? Because they replaced the cigarettes with those vapes. So
This is true.
I bet the market just turned. It didn't really go down. It
just turned a
to
different
another
direction.
product. Yeah.
Here's another one that might be railroads and railway transportation. Now, I get stopped by a train every frickin' time.
Every time we leave the house.
If you follow me on Snapchat, every time I leave the house, I get stopped by a train.
Yeah.
It's a joke between our
I
friends.
had you in my car and we got stopped by a train.
They say that it's an 82% drop as well. So I feel like boats, trains.
So
how?
I would only say that trains would be down if the ports are not accepting the crates. Does that make
right.
sense?
It all
right?
goes
the rail
together.
cars. Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
But also, like I say, infrastructure, if they can't cross safely,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. Coal mining.
Yeah, well, I would hope that's down.
Yeah, it's 88% drop.
Good Lord.
I don't know that we have to say much more about that. But
you ever see the videos on TikTok about Appalachia? Like the Appalachian.
No, I will now because my phone's here.
Appalachian Mountains. And that was all coal mining towns, and now those people don't have anything because, as soon as they stopped mining the coal, then all the businesses left and then nobody had any place to work. And that's like one of the poorest places in the United States.
I didn't realize that's where it was. Yeah. I have seen a few things.
Yeah. I mean, it's everywhere. I don't think it's just there, but yeah, anywhere that there was a coal town, those places are so poor now because everything left, That was the only thing they knew how to do.
Yeah. So from businessinsider.com, number 1 is knitting mills.
Who knits?
Yeah, exactly.
My grandma.
Yep. I still have a lot of friends that knit, but they do it.
Yeah.
So they're part of the 18,000 that still knit because there's a 91% drop.
Nobody's buying knitted sweaters anymore.
No.
If you want a
those
knitted
that
sweater,
do are very talented.
Yeah,
though.
you just got to make it yourself.
Yeah. So all very, very good. Look at how dusty my screen is now that the sun's shining on it. Look at that.
That was definitely a different list from what we had.
Yeah, for
on
sure.
Facebook.
For sure. I think I kind of liked the Facebook list better.
Yeah.
I think that was super great.
Whose baby is it? The milkman's or the postman's?
Awesome. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Quick.
Now let's go record for AMP.
All right.
That's right. We're doing double time tonight.
See ya.
Talk to you next week.
Don't forget to listen to AMP because it's going to be fucking hilarious.
See ya.
For my ear sweat.
This podcast is brought to you by NameTag Productions, LLC. Entire podcast, unless otherwise stated, written by the hosts. The Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. If we have to be all in this together, we might as well make it fun.